Yes, welcome to United Sauce and Wingers. My name is Dominic, and you are on the match reaction show where we just beat Fulham 2-1. Let me lay it down for you. Fulham have played 6 games. The last 6 games, they've drawn 5 and lost 1 against Chelsea. Probably should have won 10 men. We just beat a resilient team, but we're going to break it down. There's lots to work on. Let's do this. Let's go. Yes, welcome to United Sauce and Wingers. I'm Dominic. I've got some guests on today. We're going to break it down, all different opinions. We want to hear from you. That's the most important people we want to hear from is you, because you are the fans. We're the fans. Nice little small community where we can just go into a room, find internet connection and have some laughs. So today, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps the channel. Like. We've got Aiden. What's going on, brother? You good? You're on mute as well?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, bro. I'm flipping Pogba goal, bro. Oh my god.
Aiden is he's always backed Pogba through
Big
all
Pogba
the
fan.
torment, from all the doubt. He's backed him, mate. I think he might get a tattoo of Pogba. No, that's a bit too far. He'll get a fake one. He'll get a fake one, like a bubblegums. You know what I mean? You've got Sean. How's it going, man?
Yeah, all good, man. Buzzing after that result. What a win.
Sean is so
What a
pragmatic.
win.
He's always backing Ollie. He's always got a smile on his face, and he always thinks about the bigger picture. So thanks for coming on, Sean. And Neji, how you doing, bro?
2-1. Listen, top of the league again, fam. Listen, Ollie slapped it. Let's just be honest. He slapped it that game. I'm not even gassing. He slapped it that game, man. Let's get into this.
Neji is so good. He's such a passionate fan. He says it how it is, and he always wants our team to improve. So we've got a nice mix. Obviously, you got myself as well. I just want to see some winning, but I'm gonna critique because I love to see the team get better. So let's quickly go to the comments and see who's here. Yes, we've got MUFC3PCDN. Sounds like a PlayStation.
You did well there, still. Can't lie.
Hey guys, what's going on? Well, what's up with Pogba? Surely it's not because he's leaving. He's happy that he's playing well. Well, we're going to discuss about Pogba because you know what? If this happens to every player, that you're going to lose your contract, you're going to leave, and you start playing amazing. Let's just end everybody's contracts.
You're gonna lose your place in the team or something.
That's it, man. Sufan, let's go. He's happy. This is it. Glory, Man United.
Be late.
Kliss, Paul Labile. Honestly,
He's back.
Paul Labile.
He's back. He
I've
knows.
said this so many times that when Paul plays well, we use his full name. If he's playing right, it's just Pogba. But if he plays well, it's Paul Labile Pogba. I freaking love it. I love it. Hezron Lewis, what's going on, brother? Let's go.
Right, that's my guy still. Shout out to Hezron, man. That's my guy, bro.
Oh, I like nice one, Hezron, bro. We got Paul Labile Pogba again. Inject it. Tim, what's going on? Paul Pogba. Look, everybody's just going on Paul Pogba. All right, Carl Lewis. I'm intrigued to see what Carl Lewis says because he sometimes says things that you never think someone would say after a match. Let's see what he says. The defense was shocking. The defense was shocking. The midfield.
Cavani's my man of the match. Sorry,
Carl Lewis is a ruler, mate. He's straight to the point. He is straight to the point. Football Access, what's going on? Thoughts on Martial? Yeah, we're going to go into that, man. And Drew said that's what it was, losing his spot. Yeah, definitely. Losing his spot, he wanted to make sure he came in. Guys, we have beat Fulham 2-1. Just to give you an idea where we're on the table, guys, we are first. I don't even know why I even check.
Number one. You and me.
We are number one.
That's a hit to me. Off the charts. Oh, listen, banger.
Man City are second with 38 points, the game in hand. And Leicester on the same games as us as 19 with 38. Liverpool are got 34 points with 18, so they can go up to 37. So they'll still be behind us. We're in a good spot, lads. Let me get your initial thoughts. I'll give you like a nice 2 minutes, just an opening statement. You know, like Biden. You know what I mean? You'll be like, "Hey guys, what's going on, man?" Neji, give me your 2 minutes, Neji.
Bro, listen. I was thinking number one, by Pharrell, because I had the song in my head all day, bro. Like, I finished the game, I was thinking, let's top again. Like, we showed, let me break it down. We showed a mentality that I was banking on.
Yeah.
Because I thought we went 1-0 down. I cracked myself, like many other fans had that feeling, but we couldn't stop it. That feeling came and hit us as passionate fans. It came, it sat there, and I thought, right, what am I going to do with this feeling? And in my head, I just said, well, I don't believe we're ready for title challenge just yet. So
Yeah.
what I'm looking for is a mentality and a response, no matter how we get it. I was so happy that Fulham kept putting the pressure on. I was thinking, if you're going to win this game, you're going to deserve it and earn it. You will show me that when you go to any other team that are going to play well like this, you're going to be ready. And they showed it today. So I was so happy. And for me, Cavani, mate, I know, well, I can't even put him into words, bro. Like, I've eaten my own words from the start of it, like thinking, you know, I wrongly doubted him. I feel like his injury record would have been an issue, and I used that I used Cavani's signing as a way to release my frustration from not getting Sancho. But I have to be honest, the more you watch him, the more he plays, you can't doubt his ability. And the guy is he when he finishes his contract, I hope he stays as a coach. I hope he stays. He'll probably go MLS, but I hope he stays as a coach. Probably go play for Beckham's team still. But I hope he stays as a coach because Greenwood could learn a hell of a lot off him, and so could Rashford. 100%, without a doubt. He is incredible. Fact.
Neji, I love your energy, man, because there's so many times when people can think to ourselves, okay, look, we won 2-1 and we'll scrap at the end. But I think we all realize now we're on a journey. We have to we are not the finished article. We are not the finished article, but we're still beating teams that we couldn't beat last season, playing like that. The potential is so high, and I'm just looking forward to going on that journey and seeing where we get to when we add better players. So, Neji, I love that positivity, man. Respect for that. Aiden, how do you feel, man? Give me your 2 minutes, bro.
Mate, do you know what? Yeah, it's like I think for parts of I'm not gonna lie. I think for parts of the game we were woeful. I can't lie to you.
Aiden, 1 second. I think your audio is a bit. Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Or your audio is a bit weird. Sean, you hearing that audio?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of feedback. A lot of feedback.
He's got the helicopter.
Oh, 1 second. Come out, Aiden. 1 sec. All right. What were we saying? Yeah, I'll come to you, Sean. What's your 2 minutes, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the win. I think those are the games we ground out the 3 points.
Yeah.
And I was saying to everyone before this game, we cannot go into Fulham think it's going to be an easy game, think it's going to be a walkover, think it's going to be a given. You cannot take you only have to look at their recent record to know the way they play, and they're going to sit back with the low block, and it was going to be a night of frustration. And that's why when people are saying rotate, drop Bruno, play Greenwood up front, play Donny in the midfield, and play all the fringe players, I'm like, and save them all for the game at Liverpool, I'm like, that would have been the biggest mistake we could have ever made. Imagine if we had that lineup, our second choice lineup tonight, we would have lost that game. There's no doubt about it in my mind. It would have sent out the wrong mindset, would have sent out the wrong tones. It would have given Fulham a boost, which they didn't need because they came up playing all guns blazing anyway. So I feel like we had to play Bruno. We had to play our strongest team, bar Rashford. And I think that set the tone for the game. And in the end, we got the result. I would have liked to have given Bruno a rest for the last half an hour, but the game just didn't work out that way, man. But overall, there was a lot of holes in it. We're going to drill into it because I'm not happy with a few areas. The centre-back partnership again, Bailly's weaknesses were showing up again. And I feel as though we've definitely got, to get to that next level, there are still some glaring flaws within the team, but we're grinding out the results, which is a sign of champions. So it bodes well.
Mate, it bodes massively well. Guys, I feel like people are finally starting to realise that this is what we are at the moment. We're not a tick-attacker team. We're not a team that's going to play amazing football from 0 to 90 minutes, right? We can obviously keep the ball. 100% we can keep the ball. But what we're doing with it at the moment is not great. We know that. But once you've accepted that, you can enjoy football again, guys. Enjoy football. We're getting wins playing like this when we're playing not at a great level, but when we get to that great level, come on. We are top of the league. We're beating smaller teams. There's more smaller teams than bigger teams. That's the most important thing. And we rested some players today as well, which is good. And now we go to the Liverpool game with a different mentality. Neji, you know for a fact, when it comes to mentality, we will step up a different level to Liverpool. Because it's a bigger team. We won't play like this, even if we play the same players, right?
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I think like with Liverpool, I mean, I looked at obviously last game we played. I personally wasn't happy amongst quite a few other fans, but I just feel like shout out to Boogeyman, always involved, man.
Always involved.
I just feel like when I compare that game, because obviously it was Liverpool, and we have to say, we sat back against Liverpool, and we were right to do so. I feel for the Liverpool game we were right, but I feel because of the other previous big games we've played, it's a consistent pattern. So is it the fact that it is just Liverpool, we needed those tactics, or is it a case of when it comes to it, he's always going to revert back to that defensive lineup? And I think if that's going to be the case, it's all right beating the smaller teams, but come next season, we can't be doing that
100%.
because we've got players
Yeah.
who will allow us to show a level of progression regarding the style of football, and we're holding ourselves back if we play like that. So this lineup today, when I saw it, the only thing I would have taken out, although Fred had a great game, I would have played Matic in front of the back two, because I feel in that hole it exposed Maguire's positioning, but at the same time, because Baye was so high, he was tracking back, but he was panicking, looking left and right a few times as well. So if you've got Matic in front of those two, in my opinion, because Matic hardly comes out of that position, especially when we're defending, he holds it down so well. So he cuts off that passing lane, which you saw a few of the passes go between Baye and Maguire, either side, and they got through and cut through. That's where you need a Matic, and this is why I always stated that Maguire and Baye together, perfect. But when I talk about a spine, and you'll always hear me talk about a spine in a football team, your centre-backs, and in this modern day and age, it's a CDM, and then your 9 and your 2 centre mid for your 2 8s. So you got kind of a diamond from your striker to the CDM, and your spine with your 2 centre-backs. Your 2 centre-backs, although have to have a working relationship, they need a CDM in front who's going to man that line and cut out that passing lane. That means you've only got to really ultimately watch your outer shoulders if you're a centre-back. But I feel that's because we played Fred. But again, he's trying stuff, all these trying things. And again, you talk about the mentality, getting back to your original point. The mentality was there. I don't feel we had all the right players to get the job done, but they got the job done and did it convincingly well against a very, very good Fulham team. You cannot mock Ollie or the players for that.
100%, man. That's a good analysis. Sure, I'm going to come to you in a second. I just want to see what the comments are saying, because I feel like people are on this now. We know how important this is. Oren's saying, would a guy notice, but Matic's 60-second cameo was immense, believe it or not. We could all see we're crying out for Matic. I feel like it's one of those situations where, because we watch football so much, and Ollie's not just watching the game like how we are in terms of like holistically. He's got things going behind him. He's got people talking to him. He's got assistants. We're seeing things and so much, and we can see that Matic was crying out for that game for a bit of calmness, and it was huge. We got Baye is a big difference. Yes, he is. He made some crucial tackles that some people wouldn't even talk about because they just expect that of Baye now. You got EJ saying only complaint is subs. Need to make those subs 25 minutes. Probably did. Yeah, it was. I would say give it 10 minutes in the second half. And Matic could have easily come on. I feel like Fred. I want to talk about Fred. I feel like Fred didn't have a great game. And there you go. Don't want to sound too negative, but Fred at times looks so average. I'm sure he will improve. It wasn't. You know what? We'll talk about that. It just wasn't a game for Fred. I don't think. Kyle's saying Martial and Shaw need to work on the partnership. They make each other look bad. It wasn't really on sync today. It wasn't really on. Did you
see my tweet about that?
Huh?
Yeah, because did you see? I tweeted out that because it was like they looked like they were strangers, like they'd never played a football game together tonight, man. It was weird. It was so bad really on that side.
And this is the point. Started slow again. I said to Sean before we went live, before the game went, I said, Sean, we're going to start off probably bad. Yeah, we don't start off good. Even we start off good for the first 10 minutes. And then we just go absolutely rubbish, or we start off bad. And we're like, oh gosh, here we go again. And it happened. But again, I said to Sean, what did I say to you before this? I said we're going to play bad, and then last minute we're going to come and score goals and we'll win the game.
Do you think that's because City obviously won their game and there was a pre nerves? I want to put it down to pre nerves because I know how we played against Liverpool, how we played against Villa. We weren't really looking like we were that slow team again. We're kind of slowly coming out of that phase. So do you think City's result kind of went, oh shit, like 50 minutes ago they've just won. It's controversial, we've got to get the points, or
Aidan, give me your thoughts on that, and then if you can answer AG, do you think it was Man City, the pressure that we obviously they're coming up and they could overtake us and stuff?
I think it's like, is my mic all right?
All good now, man.
Yeah, much better.
it's hard to say because we've never really been in this position before, especially with this squad for years, really. So it's hard to say whether that's like, because was saying to Dom before that, I was saying that for me, what I'm really impressed with is how Ole's managing the players.
Massive.
Like Pogba,
Huge.
Ole is the first manager since Allegri to actually get something consistently out of Pogba. Of course, he did it in 18-19 and he's done it again. So I want to give credit to Ole, but I also want to give credit to the players for having the mentality to sort of bounce back. But look, some of these players, they're desperate for titles. I mean, De Gea is desperate for a title. I mean, even like Lingard, I remember he did an interview about a year ago. He said, yeah, if I leave with the Premier League without a Premier League medal, I'll be disappointed. And if he's feeling that, then there's definitely other players in the squad that are feeling that. So I think it's a mixture of, I think the players are just so like hyped up. They're just fed up of not doing well in the league. I think Ole's man management. But 100%, I think City will help them. And I think this experience will be really good for them. Because even if hypothetically we don't win it this season, experience is really, really, really key because it's what often is the difference between winners and losers, just a little bit of experience. I think it's a bit of both, really.
100%. You know what, right? I'm seeing like the comments here, and Aaron saying our front three not performing this season, still top of the league. There's so many players we can put a little bit of focus on. Yeah. There's so many players. I can mention Greenwood. Like what's happening there? Someone said on Twitter he should go play for West Ham.
No, I like Greenwood today. Greenwood today showed a little bit of improvement regarding his decision making. And the quality of his crossing, I'll be honest, he's put the ball in the right areas. Yeah. I don't want him to be crossing though, JP. I don't want. No, I don't. But let's be honest. For his development, if he found himself in wide areas like Cavani used to do at PSG, he was even down as a left wing at one point. Cavani, he have to be able to pick out a pass. He did it for that goal against. Was it against? I think it was Fulham last time. Matic hit the half volley. Whipped it over, Bruno hit it bottom corner. Do you know what I mean? That was his cross. So you need that element to your game because what if you can't play striker? What if you've got no right winger? Do you know what I mean? If everyone's sticking with Diallo, everyone's trying to stick with Diallo and go, he's going to be our future right winger. And then when he gets injured and no one wants a Sancho or next right winger, then what?
I just think it's one of those situations where I want Greenwood to play more football, and he's not playing week in, week out. And at a team like West Ham who are crying out for a centre forward, and they just sold Haller back to Ajax. Like, it's Sean, tell me, right? I'm thinking this is a game where we need to do a little bit of player ratings because there's a lot of players that we need to talk about. So maybe we should start off right and do a quick player ratings. Sean, I'm going to give you De Gea to start off with. It shouldn't be that long because De Gea just did his job really, but we'll go through a few of the players because I feel like we need to talk about the players here. What do you think about De Gea? Man? What would you give him?
I'm going to give De Gea an 8.
Nice.
He didn't have too many things to do, but he did everything efficiently well, and he made 2 crucial saves for us that basically kept us in the game. So for me, an 8.
God, do you agree with that?
Yeah, without a doubt, man.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think we've got the De Gea back. Like, I'm not talking about him anymore. Yeah, no one's tweeting about him. He can tweet in peace, and he's not getting any hate from Twitter and all those morons over there. I feel so comfortable with De Gea now. Now, this is where I want to talk about because I've seen lots of people start talking about this brother. Can you guess who I'm going to talk about? AWC.
Yeah, I've said this for time.
Ada God, tell us, what are you going to give him?
Look, player in terms of rating. I mean, to be honest, like positionally, that wasn't that bad because usually he's like in back at Old Trafford when he's actually in an away game. So this wasn't actually that bad. At least he was like on the pitch, which is pretty good for him. So I'd say probably about like a 4 or 5, really. In all seriousness, I'd say he was very, very average. He didn't do anything wrong per se, like offensively or on the ball. So you give him like a 5 or a 6, but he made that crucial mistake and he's kept on doing that. He hasn't changed it for a while. He was doing it versus Sevilla back, 6 months ago. So probably a 4, to be honest. I think it's just below average, and I think that's what he deserves. Really.
He made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes tonight. He had an awful game.
Yeah,
he just. I'll give him a 5.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Nate, do you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I give him a 5 only because I know he started rubbish, and obviously. I'm not taking nothing from Lookman's run. Lookman has to make that run anyway. Any striker who's alert and on form makes that run. However, Bissaka's on the far right-hand side, so he can see the whole line. There's no one behind him. He's got to look at that and be switched on, and it literally takes a split second to switch on, Those are the differences. He's got to be knowing that if he's leaving him on side, he's literally got to see that already. You got to see who's on the last man. I play left back sometimes, right? And if I'm defending, if the ball's coming over the top, and I've got a man in front of me, I'm always looking at my centre back, seeing if they're marking anyone and where their position is. Because if that's the case, then I have to push my man even further forward. Yeah, use my body weight, put my body in front of him, push him further forward. So I'm level with my centre backs, knowing that now it's on the centre backs to make sure they're level. That's just me personally. I think that's basics in my opinion. So for Saka's position awareness, he gets a 5, and I would have given him a 4 like Aiden, but a 5 he gets just because he did develop it. He did grow in the game at times and was getting into positions which doesn't normally do. A few good crosses as well. So, yeah, man, I give him a 5.
I'm going to agree with you guys, right? I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial quickly, because I know we've got a lot of players to go through, so we've got to be a bit quicker. But oh God, I don't know. Sean's probably going to hate me when I say this.
Go on, Dom. Come on, get it out, mate. Get it out.
I would bring Dallo back, right?
Oh man!
No. Wait, Sean. Wait. Someone. Just wait. Someone.
All right.
Someone the ilk of Dallo. Okay, the ilk. Okay, it doesn't have to be Dallo, but a player
does.
Like Dallo, right? Money, right? And I would play AWB for the bigger games when we need to man mark someone. For me, AWB is not the right back that I want to see Manchester United. Not that I don't rate him. In my vision of a Manchester United team who's progressive, silky, he's an extension of our attack. For me, he just doesn't make my ideal Man United team, right? He just doesn't do it for me. So if say something happens, right, someone came in with 100 million for AWB, which will never happen, I'll be like, mate, thank you so much for those big games where you absolutely destroyed Mane, Salah, whatever. But let's go and find another right back. I'm just being honest. I'm being honest.
Do you know what it is, Dom? I feel like we are taking this guy for granted now.
No. I appreciate him, Sean. I appreciate him.
We're taking him for granted because defensively, right? Yeah, his positional play is awful, and he's got to get coached and he's got to improve on that, right? But 1v1 against the best attackers in the world, we're talking the Mbappes.
I said that.
Yeah, I know, but I know you said that, but you ultimately said you don't want to see him in there. So
no, I'll see him.
No, he said he's showing for the big games, isn't it?
For the big games, I'll see him.
Yeah.
You want to see him in the big games?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said in the big games.
You want to see him in the big games, and in the small teams. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But
I still feel we need to not take this guy for granted because he is a safe fullback.
Oh no, but I don't want to play safe. I don't want to play safe.
If you take him out, you're forgetting the times we're going to be getting roasted, right? We just know Wan-Bissaka's there. Zaha's 1-on-1. We know Wan-Bissaka's
that's fine.
Win the
Bring him in for those teams where they have really dangerous players. Every team doesn't have a dangerous player that we need for AWB. Like I love AWB and what he's done for us, but for the games where we play people, which is a collective football team, and it's not like these crazy fast players like Sahar for Crystal Palace, Mane for Liverpool, Man City, I wouldn't even worry about that. Maybe Sterling, right? All the rest of the games, I wouldn't play AWB. I'll play someone who can go good going forward and going back. AWB's not going anywhere. I'm backing in, and I'm just hoping somehow he improves his style. But I think his style will never change.
He's got to get coached. I think you can. Of course. I think you can coach him positionally, and I feel like you can also coach him to improve going forward. He's never going to be a Dani Alves, but I feel like he could develop to a level where his crossing, his decision making in the final third is acceptable. I think he's got the potential to do that.
NMOP3, NMOP. I'll say NMOP. NMOP. I'm not saying that AB's not good and Aiden's going to come in a second. I'm not saying he's not good. Honestly, he's saved us so many times. My sort of right back that I've grown up watching is someone who's good going forward and backwards. Going forward, he looks uncomfortable. He looks like he's just trying to chase after the ball to cross. I think he can get better, and I hope he does. I want my players to get better.
You know what, Dom?
The player I want is just like that.
Dom, what you're saying, it seems to be it's obvious that it's a popular talking topic, so obviously it's going to be an issue. And we've been having these conversations, or as many other fans across the world are having these same kind of conversations about the same thing. Yeah. And he's been here for nearly 2 years now. Yeah. 2 seasons. So is he really going to get better in a year and a half? I'd expect to go, you know what? Okay, cool. Let's see that improvement, but we're still having this same conversation now.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Sorry,
I mean?
Reggie, he just
No,
said,
do you, bro?
look at my name upside down. It actually says upside down.
Upside down. Yeah.
Listen,
That is
upside
the best
down,
YouTube,
you
mate,
are
I've
a
ever
G,
seen.
mate.
You just made my night, mate. You've
Go on, sir.
Upside down, that name is a madness.
What I love, like, when you look back at the video, everybody went,
I was calling him M-Lop or something.
M-Mop, bro. M-Mop 3.
oh mate, honestly, please come back to every show because I love this guy already. Honestly, let me go to the next player because we run out of time. Who's next? Who did I go through? Who's gone?
You've
we're
only
on
done the
Barry
goalkeeper and
Maguire
right
and
back.
Shaw now.
But who's gone?
Centre
Who's I don't
You've
know.
done the
De Gea,
See,
Bissaka, but we're done.
Nate G's next. All right, so yeah, we've got to make this quicker. Who's next? So it was Ramsaka. Yeah, Bailly. Just do Bailly.
Strong 7. Again, as I said previously, so I don't need to go over it again, but I said with a Matic in front of the centre back, you don't see that ball slipping in between him and Maguire. So I just feel like that's more of a tactical thing. But Bailly was a strong 7. He did a lot. I'd say he had a strong 90% game. The 10% is average for a footballer of any class. You're going to have them 10% in a game where you go, ooh, what the hell? That's standard. So yeah, strong 7 for me for Bailly.
Do you agree? 7?
Yeah, I would say 7.
Aiden?
Yeah, I think that little bit was positionally a bit, and he didn't look over his shoulder. But again, it's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 really.
Yeah, I think he gets a 7 for me. There was a couple of tackles he did where he saved us, and there was a tackle where the Fulham player was running on goal in our box, and he tackled him. He stuck a leg out, didn't foul him. Wow, Bailly Maguire can have a joint 5. What? Carl Lewis is on it tonight, boy.
Hey, Carl, in.
Carl's that type of guy who just uses clickbait to get fans and followers. He's that guy, you know.
Because he maintains it. Trust me, if you're like that,
yeah,
you'll get found out. You know what I mean? This guy is for real. MKB saying 8. Yeah, I'll say a nice 7. 7.5.
No. You can't after that.
Let's move on, man.
Who's Sean? Sean Maguire, man. You're Maggie.
Yeah, do you know what, H-Boss, tonight, I feel like him and Bailly did good things, but they also did some bad things that I wouldn't expect from a centre-back, an 80 million centre-back. Like that first goal, the defending from Harry Maguire is so naive.
Yeah,
and it's atrocious. And it's like, I keep seeing him doing these basic... I played a couple of seasons at centre-back, so it's a position I know quite well. And it's just basic. Like the 2 centre backs are supposed to be like this on a pivot, in the whole game. And you cannot have him and Bailly going out here. He's going out there to do Luke Shaw's job.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah,
he's the captain. He's got a lead. He's got to be able to see that, and he does it all the time. He's always out in that channel. So for me, tonight we were solid at times, but there was a mistake. So I'm going to give him the same as Bailly, a 7. But for me, he's got to improve because I'm starting to have doubts on him long term. Is he the top echelon centre-back in the level of Stam, Vidic, Rio to be a captain of Man United? Does he have the potential to be that for us for the next 3 or 4 years? I don't know about that.
I hear you, man. Oren saying, oi, we're top of the league. Let's talk about don't stop, please. 100%. But you know what, Oren, right? We've been top of the league so long. I'm just like, this is where we belong. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Isn't it? It's not even deep, you know.
We should, the old Man United. We'll be like, all right, yeah, whatever you want to drink. Like, I don't even care anymore. We're top of the league. This is where we belong, man. Now we're talking about the breakdown of players because we can.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Aiden, talk about Luke Shaw, man. What are you giving him?
I think, he was good again. I think the one thing that I think Shaw is, I think Bailly is about 6% of the time, but sometimes he's rash, is he's composed on the ball.
So composed.
The ball comes down from the sky and he'll just like take it down, move along. And the crazy thing is, this guy's like 6'1", because he's so wedge, you don't realise it. And he's fast.
He's the same height as me.
He's 6'1".
Yeah.
Just go look up. He's
the same height as me.
Yeah, he wins all his aerials, and because he's so wham, but he's not slow. And I think that really, and one thing, remember I said on Twitter, I said if Luke Shaw adds crossing, I will start seeing a left back I feel can be good for us for a long time, because that's the one thing I was missing. But I think, look, composure, consistency, good crossing, everything you'd want, just consistent. I think like 7 or 8, to be honest, quite good.
7 or 8, I'll take that. Mate, I can't believe he's 6'1". If I was on TV, I'm literally 18 stone 11. That's like 115 kilograms. I would look like freaking Akinfenwa, wouldn't I? That's unbelievable. Honestly. Let me like Shaw is 8'9". Shaw's 8'9".
That's upside down, man. 6'8".
Upside down, yeah. It's 6'8". Well, like I say, okay, we're gonna move to midfield.
Sure.
I feel like defense, midfield is now very important because I didn't see nothing really happening in midfield. Let's talk about. Do we go straight to Pogba? Actually, no, I'll give a rating to Pogba. Let me give a rating to Pogba. I feel like Pogba didn't play his best game. Without a shadow of doubt. It wasn't his best game. I felt like he was a little bit down, just a little bit subdued. He wasn't really coming out of his shell. And then he just said to himself, you know what, right? I'm Paul Labile Pogba. What am I doing? This is Fulham. I've played in the World Cup in France. I've played against the best players in the world. Let me get my left foot, just wake it up for a second, and let me just pan this in left corner. And he went, all right. Honestly, Pogba, without that goal, I would have given Pogba about a 6. Now, based on that goal and how crucial it was, I have to give him an 8. I know everybody's going to be like, what's this guy saying? I have to give him an 8.
I'll be honest.
I would have given away with that one tonight.
I would have given him a 7 before the goal anyway, personally.
Really?
He lost the ball. I watch players as much as I can. So, like, let's say, for example, Pogba passes the ball. I don't follow the ball. I watch what Pogba does the split second after. And I'm like that with most players. I like to see their movement off the ball after they've had it. That's just how I watch. And when I look at how he was actually pivotal in that midfield, considering he had Fred as his CDM, I think he was incredible because that ball that he played backward that he lost. Normally there's a Matic there or someone in CDM holding that role. I think that was in his subconscious when he did it because when he did it, he didn't actually. I don't think he actually checked when he passed the ball. He assumed so. That was part of his psyche, I think. But other than that, his link-up play in every part of the pitch.
And he's tracking back, Neji. He lost
I was just about. Yes, exactly. So if you lose the ball, make the effort to get it back. Bear in mind, he was on a yellow card as well. He had to time his tackles even more, which we've been getting on at him for. So ultimately, for me, Pogba has to have an 8, bro.
Wow, Carl Lewis is the hardest guy on YouTube, and he's giving my brother a 9. So you know what? I'll take that. I must have done something right.
11.
I think you got to look at how important that goal was, and that he just took it into his own hands, which we normally rely on Bruno to do. So Pogba actually took the mantle today and said, "All right, Bruno, you have a day off. You're not refiring today. Let me go and do it with my left foot."
The way Bruno hugged up Pogba, bro, I was laughing. I was like,
I was gonna cry, bro. I was so emotional.
Let me move on. Guys, if you're watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're new. We really appreciate you tuning in. Just a small community talking about football with an internet connection in my spare room. So actually, go to you, Aidan. I want to talk to you about Fred because I know you've got some mixed thoughts on Fred. And I'll go to Niji and then Sean.
I thought Fred, I think the problem that I saw with Fred is that I've always said he's not particularly good on the ball. I think a lot of the time it's covered up by the fact that he's got McTominay next to him, which I think is controversial, but I think he's a bit more consistent on the ball. It's because he does nothing with it, absolutely nothing. So it's not necessarily because he's better. But I think positionally, Fred wasn't that good. I've always felt that like our positions, our players don't hold them in general. But I just think because you've got 2 8s and you've got Fred at DM, it makes it look really bad. Because when you have a front 3, you don't notice it as much because they just sort of swap and interchange. But when you've got 2 8s in Pogba and Fernandes and one player at base, it made it look bad. And you know how quick and nippy Fulham are with their young players. So I think the contextual information made him look worse than he was. But yeah, I think probably just a 5. I couldn't go lower because
I could go lower as well. Yeah. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think you're being nice.
Yeah.
I think you're like giving a little Christmas gift there, man. I think you're being nice.
Do you know why? It's because, as I said, I don't think it was necessarily him. I think it's because I think every player in our squad does not hold position. Like none of them. Wan-Bissaka doesn't, Greenwood doesn't, nobody does. Just because he's a DM with 2 8s, it looked worse. But I can accept like a 3 or a 4, really. I can't lie.
You know what,
so if we go with 5, then Neji, Sean, do you agree with 5 or?
Nah, not really.
Do you know what? I don't agree with that either. But
go on, Sean. Drop it down, bro.
Bro.
No, drop, bro. Go.
So for me, I thought Fred was really bad tonight. I feel like for me in the selection, that was one thing that I feel like Ollie got wrong today.
Yeah, I do as well.
I feel like having Fred on the pitch in that game, we basically might as well be playing with 10 men.
Sean's got him.
That Fulham player, he was just bypassing him every single time. Was it?
Yeah.
The tall, lanky guy, Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek was owning him, man.
He's just bringing him around like a little baby. I was like, Fred, man. It's like, yeah. So for me, I would have started Matic, and I was tweeted it. I wanted Matic on the pitch because it just wasn't a game for Fred.
No.
And Fred needs to stop passing the ball. Basically, if I'm telling Fred, I'm saying, Fred, if I see you make a pass more than 10 yards, you're getting subbed. If I'm the manager, Fred, 5 and 10-yard passes for you, mate. Because he can't complete a pass over 10 yards. He can't do it. Every pass over 10 yards, it's going out to touch or it's going to the opposition.
Sean, have you noticed when Fred does
5 and 10 yards pass for you, mate?
Sean, have you noticed when Fred does a pass, he launches it like a Valencia pass. It's not like a nice, easy pass.
You man ain't gonna like me then, bro.
Nah, he's
I can't remember 8 or something. Watch, bro.
Nah, bro.
So for me,
honest,
I'm giving him a 6.
A 6. Okay, DG, you agree? 5, 6.
I thought he was gonna go lower than that. Yeah, that's
I'm going to go lower too.
Yeah, the way you went in, bro, was like I'm thinking 2, 3. Man, doubled it. Went 6. Sean, man, my guy.
Like, Adrian, really? I thought it was terrible, man. You know what? I'm gonna give him a 6.
And then you give him a 6.
You know what? I feel better now because I was gonna give him a 6 as well. The only way is because I have to keep my consistency when I rate a player. Regardless of their name or title, I'll come critique them how I need to. Like Scott McTominay when he plays CDM, I know he's not a CDM. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Regardless, if he's playing in a CDM position, he's gonna get treated as a CDM, not as a CM. So I'm not gonna give him no bly. However, because I've seen Fred play that CDM, he's had to play it on his own, not even have his handheld. I'll be honest. He's usually going to his gameplay, the way he goes to tackle and everything, he either gets sent for a hot dog or he actually manages to get the ball and stuff like that. Regardless of him, I don't think we've actually played anyone other than Matic as that single CDM all season, if I'm honest. And I've got to be fair to Fred. Up until the last minute, even though he was getting bodied and bullied, he was still giving it back, still winning the balls back in the right area.
He won it on the right side, didn't he? When he lost it, he won it back.
Yeah, although he didn't do great, I'm not saying he was rubbish, but although he didn't do great, or he had an average game with the ball at his feet, everything he did off the, as I said to you, when I see a player release the ball, I watch what they do after for that split second. Yeah, especially if I'm trying to critique a player or focus on a player. Yeah. He did, in my opinion, everything right defensively that he was capable of doing.
Were you giving him then?
So I was giving him a strong 6 because even when he was even in the small holes in midfield, like 50-50 battles, little link-up plays, 1-2, he was pulling it off. I can't lie to him. He was pulling it off more time than not.
Right. It's an interesting one because I agree with Aiden here and my thoughts were that this wasn't a game for Fred. When I saw him start, I was quite interested because when we got the ball and placing a low block, Fred's not one of those players to do a nice pass down the line, keep the play, do short. That's not him. This is a game.
I panicked, bro. I panicked.
Matic does this all the time.
You know what, Dom? Do you know what? I got a feeling that Ollie is thinking a game ahead. So I feel like the only reason Matic didn't play tonight, he's going to start on the weekend against Liverpool.
But I don't think that's a game for him.
But you know what? Why I think he's looking at that is I feel like he's thinking. I think he's going to go with quite a strong team. And I feel like he's looking at what can we do differently in the last Liverpool game that we can give us a little bit more of an edge going into the next game. And I think he's going to use Matic to give us a little bit more quality.
What, Matic and Fred? What, Matic and Scott McTominay?
I think it'd be Matic and McTominay.
Oh. Okay. What about Matic and Pogba? Do you think he might use Matic and Pogba?
Yeah, he'll probably play Pogba.
I think he'll play Pogba wide there again.
Yeah,
if he plays Pogba wide again, I'm going to be absolutely vexed.
Yeah, mate, how are you putting a top 5 CM in the world in the wing? That is actually that's football terrorism. That's
I don't think we're good enough to play Liverpool with a Matic and a Pogba as 2 CDMs. We're not good enough.
Actually, are we with those centre backs?
Bro, easy.
I think-
don't know. You say easy. We're playing Liverpool, who are.
It's not easy.
We're giving too much respect to this Liverpool team as it stands right now, this second.
Yeah, but it's still a good
Fact.
team, though, man.
It is, but so are we. We've got the play.
No, yeah, but we're a good team, mate.
We've got players. We've got players who can
we have
outplay
got
Liverpool's midfield. Fact.
We have got players, but mate, we're struggling to Fulham. Do you know what I mean? And we won the individual brilliance goal.
Yeah,
Fulham,
but that's Fulham with Fulham with one CDM. We're talking.
Liverpool drew against Fulham.
We're talking Matic and Pogba's CDM, not a Fred on his own. A Pogba in that CDM role or in that 8 role, whatever you want to call it, 6, 8, wherever. In that 2, in front of the back 4. When we're playing Liverpool, how many times would their centre backs easily exposed with a ball over the top from that level? Pogba plays that ball, and I'll continue to say his name again. Van der Beek. If he plays in that final third, he will retain the ball in areas which will frustrate their midfield and their defense.
I'll take your point then and say I would feel okay with Matic and Pogba against Liverpool if Bailly's playing with Maguire. I'd feel okay. But if we're playing Lindelof and then Potic,
oh Jesus,
Pogba and Matic.
Fred and Pogba's Pogba.
Pogic
in the middle, right? Without Bailly.
We don't like Frogba. We want Potic.
Yeah. No Frogbas.
Guys, subscribe if you're new. Thanks so much for joining.
Where are we at in the ratings? Who's next?
We're going to carry on with the ratings. Who's next?
Wingers. Wide
no, Bruno.
Midfield. All right, Sean, you take Bruno, and then Neji, I'll give you Greenwood because I want to know your thoughts on Greenwood.
All right, bro.
Okay, so the Magnifico. I feel like the performance today was a standard, average, slightly below average performance from Bruno. Still giving the ball away too much.
Far too much.
Again, still decisive in the key moments.
Yeah,
he still works hard, giving the ball away. He's still running back, making tackles after he's dropped it off like Rooney used to do back in the day.
Sean, I don't like it. You're going to say some random thing. You're going to build this up.
I feel like he deserves
do you know why it's important as well? Because he sets the tone, right? Bruno and Cavani, they set the tone for the press.
Yeah,
they set the example for Martial. Like there's so many times I saw Cavani and Bruno running sprints, and then Martial and Greenwood are like, I've got a sprint as well.
Yeah.
You have to do your job as well. So for me, they're the leaders. They're showing the young guns how to do it. So I'm going to give him the standard 6.5.
Oh,
6.5.
I thought you were
crazy. Nothing crazy, guys. Calm down, guys.
I was about to say.
Whenever you do your thing, Sean, I have no idea where you're going.
No idea.
You could give it 11, could give him a -10.
Yeah. Like. You could be like, this guy is absolutely unbelievable. So I'm going to give him a 3, Kevin.
Sean is literally Ahmed Diallo. You don't know which way he's going to take the ball.
I like this guy, man.
You know what? Guys, just quickly, we can't say Bruno too long. Are we all agreed that it's around a 6, 7?
I'd say 7, yeah.
Okay, I'll say a 6 for Bruno standards.
Yeah, 6.
I'll say for Carl Lewis is coming in though. Carl Lewis, Bruno was actually very good and his passing was better. First goal doesn't have with it. 8! Carl, mate, you're messing my mind up today, Carl.
Carl, what are you thinking tonight, man?
Just went out.
Carl.
He hit the post with his weak foot, bro. That set the tempo for the whole team. They were like, we're up for this.
Weak foot, so
7. All right, okay. I don't know. We've got people saying,
look, I'm saying 7. Comment on my side today. I like it.
I'd say a 6 for Bruno standards, but if you don't want to do Bruno standards, 7. That's fine. I got no problem with that. All right, let's go on to Greenwood, Nate G.
I was impressed with him today. I know he's not a right winger, the same way Scott and Fred ain't CDMs, the same way Pogba isn't a winger. Like when you're playing a position, I expect you to be able to at least make the most of that position. You may not be the greatest at it. I'm not expecting that, but what I am expecting from those positions, you know, when I always talk about this right winger, I say we've got no creativity. That is the most creative I've seen from a player in that position, before Mata, of course.
Who's trying to play
who's trying to play that way. When he was doing that, if you saw the danger, I mean, Cavani's head, I know it wasn't Greenwood. Who did it, which is slightly off topic. When I'm talking about creativity from the right, that header where Cavani just didn't put it in the back of the net, Whoever, was it Martial who put it in?
I think
no.
Or Bruno. Either way, irrelevant.
Bruno.
Yeah, either way, there's there's creativity on that right side. Now, I'm saying if you're a right winger playing in no position, same way why I like Rashford off the bench really more time at this moment in time, is I want creativity off that field. In a right winger, I need to see that. And he improved his game today to do that. So he's 18. I have to respect that. He's never played he's not a right winger. I have to respect that. He's both footed, so I expect him to be able to pass the ball or cross the ball from those areas with both feet. And decisions today, when you look at the quality of the balls, they weren't over the hit, they weren't under hit. They're actually in the right areas where you'd expect your striker to come and pick it up and get it. Occasionally, he had the odd shot. I don't mind that. Step over, shoot. But you could see in his mind before he's about to hit the shot, he thought cross it and he put a decent ball in. So I'm going to give him. I'm going to 7. A 7.
Well, you say 7?
Nah.
I'm giving him a 7. Yeah.
He'll be like, he'll give him a 7. I watched how he said that. He'll be like, nah, 7.
No. Sean will be like, nah, 9.
Do you know what? I've got so much high expectations of Mason. Like, I'm his biggest fan, and I think his ceiling is so high.
Yeah, massively.
But I feel like right now, obviously, what happened in the summer with England, and then all the press going after him, I feel like his confidence is shot. And I feel like when he first came into the team, everything was instinctive, and he was just doing what came naturally to him, and he was catching people by surprise. And I feel like the combination of, obviously, opposition defenders are now aware of him. They're putting 2-3 men every time on him when he's
so annoying
on the edge of that back box.
That's what Carl
I feel like now,
well.
he's second guessing himself.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's trying too much. He's not trusting his right foot, and every time now he's trying to cut back on his left, whereas before he would check right, left. So for me, I feel that both wide players tonight were very disappointing. I can see what Neji is talking about in terms of the crosses. He put about 2 or 3 crosses into the box, but ultimately they got headed out every single time. And I feel like the delivery still needs to be improved upon. And I just feel we didn't get enough from Martial or Greenwood tonight. Not blaming the lad. I think his confidence is just a bit low. He needs a goal and he'll be firing again. But on this performance, because we got nothing out of him, I've got to give him a 5. I can't give him any
so we've
more
got
than that.
7, 5, and Aiden, you going in the middle or 5 or 7?
I'm going to give him a 6, but just wanted to say this is what I mean when I say he's got a good football IQ, but he hasn't got a good 9 IQ, and that's what I just really want Ole to see him like carve him into that 9, because you watch him do this.
Yeah,
brilliant. He reminds me of like where Kane on the half turn pings balls with them. Like,
this is what I said. I feel like Greenwood should go on loan to like a West Ham, where he's the focal number 9. Everything goes through him, and he can do what he's got to do. I feel like
what team he'd be sick at? Leicester. I'd hate to say it, but he'd be sick at Leicester.
But he wouldn't displace Vardy, you know.
I think Brighton make a lot of chances, and they have people like Lamptey that they actually have a really high chance creation rate.
And they got a nice, young, good, progressive team.
We
keep going. Who we got? He goes quickly. I'll do
Martial Cavani.
Oh gosh. Aiden, talk about Martial quickly, and I'll do Cavani.
I can't lie. I think he was like non-existent this game. I can't actually remember bits that he did. Like, I know he missed that header and stuff, but I think, like, to be honest, Jets, like, it's the same story. Like, he's good on the ball. Like, he doesn't do anything stupid. He's always got good technical fundamentals. He contributes to the game a bit less than I think he usually does today, but can't finish. So there's nothing we haven't really seen. But yeah, like average probably 6, or I'd say maybe 7 if you want to be generous.
I think we're all agreeing the 6. You know what I find about Martial? Just before I quickly talk about Cavani, I feel like Martial's in a situation where no one's Ollie is ruthless, right? Because if Martial's put out to the left, all the newspapers, Twitter's going mental. Why not play the position? He's been moved out to the left, and no one's bat an eyelid. I don't think even Martial cares. He's been wanting to go up front for so long, campaigning, posters, rallies, and now he's on the left, but he's not really doing much. Do you know what I mean? He's not really doing much. I don't know. It's just
I disagree with
but
you,
you know what,
though.
Dom? I've got to say though, he wasn't doing much anyway when he was up front. So it's not the position. He's just off form. This season he's come back and he's been.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I'm saying, so when Cavani came in, Martial started the season up front against Brighton. He started against Tottenham. He started against the other games where we were losing, and he was up front. He just was off it, and people were saying, you know, what's going on? And I slated him. There was one game we're at home and he missed some stupid chances from the edge of the box. He's just been off it this season. He hasn't found that level of consistency where he was at last year.
He'll get that,
position he's playing in.
I disagree, man.
Yeah,
I feel if he's scoring and getting assists, everyone's loving it. But then the moment we talk about scoring an assist for Rashford, people are hyping off it when ultimately Rashford's team up play, which I've been saying for a whole year now, is come to show its end. And I think it's like Martial, in order to get praise, he has to be the baller and get goals and assists. I've seen people in fan cams and I've seen them in podcast shows saying that Martial needs to get 20-25 goals a season. How many goals did Aubameyang get last season to win Golden Boot?
I think
24. I think.
Where does Aubameyang play mostly? Left wing.
And he's in his prime. He's 30. He's like 30.
Massively. Now, I'm not saying Man United or Arsenal. What I'm saying is Martial on that pitch, he's doing everything but scoring assists. Now, I've looked at Martial's shots. They don't look wayward. They don't look nasty.
No, they're not wayward.
If you look at his last 5 games, especially shots outside the box of pinging top bin, that is informed striking. That is confident striking of a ball. Now, yes, he hasn't got the goal. Yes, he hasn't got the assist. But it's either we're going to love assists and goals for Rashford and then forget about the ball playing stuff that Rashford's clearly not doing often enough, and we're going to skip it for about a year or two, or we're going to keep the same energy and go, you know what? We want you to have that team link-up play. We know you're shooting on form at the moment. You're just not getting your goal and assist. Keep going. I feel there's a massive bias against the guy.
I think that's true, AG. I think that's true.
I can't back it.
I think when you're rating it, though, you have to rate it that we need more from him in that game to get to an 8. Do you know what I mean? I completely agree with you. He's playing so well. His team up play is unbelievable, right? His team up play is unbelievable. Rashford couldn't touch or lace his boots into the team.
It wasn't today.
And holding it. But
he was passing the ball out of touch.
As his main priority is to actually assist and score goals, he didn't do that today, so he can't get an 8.
No, he didn't. No, I didn't say it was an 8. What I'm saying is, I'm saying in a generic. I said a 7.
Generically, I agree with you. Yeah.
Like, I look at the shots he had. Keeper incredible saves.
Yeah,
You can't take credit away from the goalkeeper, but because it was more. If that was Rashford in that same position, headed it, and the keeper saves it, people are going to go straight to the keeper and go, "Oh, keeper is a good save." That's just my opinion of what I'm seeing.
It reminds me of Pogba. Globally. Martial. He reminds me a bit of Pogba, I can't lie.
He's black, he's French, and obviously the media were on top of him from early. It filters into so many people's heads, their psyche. I can't back it. I'm sorry.
Quiet. He just like doesn't really say anything. He doesn't really say much. But
personality, you name it.
Fundamentals, like Rashford's technical fundamentals. I've always said this. Not there.
Oh,
Martial is an easy target. That's a fact. Martial made an easy target.
He can potentially be world class. He can potentially be world class. For me,
he was supposed to be a Ballon d'Or winner. He won the Golden Boy. He was revered across Europe. I've always said, like, remember that in Real Madrid in that friendly when he like dribbled around like Casemiro.
He sent that man silly, bro.
Honestly, he's one of the best dribblers in the league, and I feel like he needs that Pogba moment that Pogba's going through now just to get that little bit of a push. He's on the edge for me. So
I'm going to give a different perspective on it, man. I'm going to burst through lots of bubbles, man. Because as much as I love Martial and I back him to the hill, and I've always bigged him up, the guy he's not a young player anymore. He's 25 now. If I'm wrong, I don't think he's ever going to hit that world class level. I think he's going to be a top player, and I think he'll always be a good player. But I feel as though he's been playing in our first team since he was 18 now, right? So that's coming on seven seasons, and I still struggle to see the development in his game from that first season under Van Gaal when he was playing left wing up front. He hit 18 goals that season. He never matched that again until last season, and fundamentally his game is still the same. When he's on the left, he doesn't run off the ball. He only makes runs when the ball's at his feet, dribbling at people. He doesn't run in behind. He doesn't. He hasn't added any facets to his game that he didn't have when he was 18.
That's a bold statement.
Can I say something?
Yeah, tell me what he's doing.
Can I just say the thing is for me, people have like arguing this. Ole doesn't develop players. What he does is he makes players better at what they're already good at. He doesn't add anything. Rashford hasn't added anything to his game since he was 18. In fact, he's probably got worse at getting past the man. He just uses pace now. Ole doesn't make players better at what they're bad at. He makes them better at what they're already good at. So to say Martial specifically hasn't got better at his dribbling, I don't think things that he's bad at. I don't think any player
I disagree with you both, man. Martial has gone from left wing to a striker. That is it. He's gone from left wing to a striker. He's not.
Just one sec. What did you say, Sean?
I didn't say about his dribbling. I said in his overall game.
Oh yeah, I started. But I'm saying that Ole doesn't make the aspects that players are bad at. He doesn't make it better. Rashford has just got better pace. He's got better running, and he's got better finishing. He hasn't made his dribbling.
You two have been massively unfair to Ole's work. The reason he won. The reason he won Player of the Year he won Player of the Season last season was because of the improvements he made. He's not a 9. Fact. It does not suit his ability. He's learning a position. It's the first time he's had umpteen games where he's played 10 or more games in a row, right? Literally position for position, as a striker. He's not a striker. In his first season playing it for Ole, the types of goals he was scoring were near post, little tap-ins and stuff. That is not Martial. Ole taught him that. That was fact. That is why he was in that as a striker. He made those improvements. Ole taught him that. He never had that part of his game before. It was either individual brilliance from outside the box, curled, or 1-2 little flicks with poggers. That was it. So
he hasn't scored that many of those goals you're talking about, though, Nate.
Yeah, but he's had those types of chances. As I said,
one or two.
Yeah, but irrelevant.
Out of 25.
But this is my point, Sean. This is my point. You keep talking about not getting goals and assists, but we're not talking about his actual playing ability, style, his impact on the pitch. Every time you watch Martial, as I said, I watch players hard. I don't watch where the ball. I'm watching players. Watch Martial on the pitch in the nastiest, tightest areas, in tight midfield spots. He is consistent with his touch and his control. Now, when you do that and you can retain the ball in them areas and pass it off, that is the hardest part of any football. No matter what you're saying, that is the hardest part, to retain a ball from whatever angle and to get rid of it, and then to make the right movements and to be in the right positions.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's even worse. But Martial is now having to play as a striker.
Let's bring it back.
I'm going to bring it back. Dom. I'm going to bring it back. So, Nate G, on that point, right?
Sean, we haven't got enough time. We haven't got enough time.
Move on.
Move on. We're doing play rate. It's not the Martial show.
Cavani, man. Man of the match.
Anyway, I'm just going to say this right now. Just to end this, Martial has 100% developed his game. You're talking rubbish. Anyway.
No, he hasn't.
I'm joking. Sure, I'm joking. Anyway, for me, Martial has improved his game, his hold-up plays, his headering, his awareness, his dribbling ability. He has improved. But Sean's not seen a new element of his game. Fine. Whatever. Moving on. Cavani, for me, I think he was amazing. I think he's a scholar. He can improve Greenwood. I think he's one of those people that the passion. He was up and down the pitch. He was defending. He was attacking. He had the passion. He had the anger. Cavani is everything we want in a striker. Because for me, Martial's not a striker. I agree with you, Najee. Rashford's not a striker. I don't know when we're going to get a striker. We used to have Tevez, Rooney. We had flicking Berbatov. Igalo, fantastic. Lost his parking space. Fantastic. So for me, Cavani is everything I want in a striker, and I can't wait to get another striker who's younger, even better than Cavani. I don't know who that is, but I can't wait to find a young, upcoming, really good striker. So for me, I'd give Cavani an 8 for today. I feel like the goal was important, his effort was important, and he wanted to win. So that's the leader I want. And then just to show about Ole, I feel like Ole made a mistake with the selection with Matic and Fred, knowing that we would have a lot of the ball. And I think that he could have. It was a massive mistake. We won the game, so for me, I have to give Ole a 7 because we won the game, and he's instilled that confidence in the team that we never die. And even though we're in the position we are now, we're not great. We're not a great team yet. We're pushing on, but we're still getting results with this team. So imagine when we get a right winger. Imagine when we get another real striker. We're going to go places, and I'm so excited about that. So. Guys, man of the match, Dom? Man of the match for me is 100% got to be Cavani. I know Pogba scored the winning goal, but Cavani was up and down the pitch. And it's just for me, the mentality he instills It's just something that we've been longing for a long time without a striker. So for me, it's Cavani. 2 seconds, guys. Aiden, your man of the match. Just two sentences.
I'm going to have to say Pogba. I just want to say Ole is the first manager since Allegri that's actually got a tune out of Pogba consistently. So he has to get praise for that.
Nice. And Sean, your man of the match, Sean?
I'm going same as you, man. Edinson, El Matador.
And Neji?
Yeah, when you did that.
Listen, it's got to be EC7, man. Come on, man. EC7. He earns that number 7 shirt all day now.
Yeah, he's sick. He's sick.
Edison
all right, when's our next
bro.
game? Is it Liverpool, right?
Yep.
Liverpool
Sunday. Guys, we're going to be back for the Liverpool preview, which is going to be very interesting. And we'll try and get the Liverpool fan on again, Iffy, because he's going to be... He'll be hilarious. So join us for the Liverpool preview, which will probably be on Friday night, or Thursday night, Friday night. Look out for that. Make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on so you can see that video. Like the video as well. Follow all these guys: Nate, Sunshine47, Aiden, UTD Aiden, and Sean on Grow Football, and myself, United Source MUFC. We love you guys. We appreciate you staying with us. And guys, we're top of the league. We beat Fulham. We move to the next game. Let's do this thing. Also, one more thing, guys. We're top of the league. Peace.